Hello. Welcome to Flower Gothic repeatedly tortures herself by reading the same fanfiction. Can I be heard? Am I audible? Not sponsored. Hi, Super Dark. Am I audible? Can everyone else hear me? Banging on your desk is a fun form of percussion, gang. Learn that from your head. Learn that. What am I gonna say here? I'm sorry. I got back from a walk less than an hour ago, so I'm tired. Just one more second while I update everyone else. Alright, so, if you were not here... My notebook fell, shit! If you were not here last time, Isak and Lucy are an official couple now after they were repeatedly real person shipped by basically everyone in the Swedish royal family and some other royal families as well, including none other than, guess who? Mary! Anyway, they've been dating for a while now because, again, the time skips are real in this story. But just as we ended yesterday, it was revealed that the media found out about them. So we're gonna figure out how that happened and what are, they're not even star-crossed lovers, are they? This is just terrible writing. Anyway, without further ado, here is Chapter 13 of Swedish-American Royal Love Story by Redacted. I know the identity of the author now, but I'm going to keep it hidden because revealing it goes against my policies. Alright. Chapter 13, January 21, 2013, Bumfuck, Tennessee. Lucy stands there, frozen. Isak is still on the line. Lucy, where are you? Isak asks in a panic. My apartment. I was walking to my car when... Lucy, is that Isak on the line? A cameraman yells out again. No one in America gives a shit about the Swedish monarchs. No one. So these fuckers probably, yeeted themselves from Sweden. Hello, Video Games McGee. Welcome to Flower Gothic Continues to Torture Herself. Alright. Yes, the East Dakota experience. Shit! They found your apartment already? Isak says angrily. Do not look at them. Just walk to your car and get in. And they'll take photos of the license plate. Because paparazzi are that pathetic. Then get to campus. Okay, Lucy say nervously. She speed walks to her car and gets into the drive space away. The cameramen hop in their car and follow her. She pulls into the parking lot and sees one spot open. She parks and gets out to go to her class. But the cameramen are on her tail. Just answer a few questions for us, Lucy. How did you all meet? Here, shouts one man. Excuse me, why are you in this parking lot blocking cars from getting in and out? Demands the University of Tennessee police officer whose bond term is crypt in bumfuck East Dakota. demands the University of Tennessee police officer. Get off this property now! They get in their car and leave looking angry. Because, we can't have Lucy face any real conflict in this story. That would make her less than perfect, you know? I gasp! The police officer looks to Lucy. Are you okay, young lady? Yes, sir. They just startled me. They followed me from my apartment, Lucy replies. Well, I will walk with you to your class just to make sure there aren't any more lurking about. They cannot stalk students and especially not on school property, the officer says. He walks her to the building and she thanks him for being so helpful and kind. That's a lie. No police officer is that helpful and kind at all. A cab! He reminds her of the blue lights around campus to use if she's being chased again. That's that's standard for a lot of public universities, though. Like, I go to University of Houston. I can say that because it's a large school. And there are, like, blue lights every, like, couple yards, as far as I know. I am fortunate enough to have never had to use them, but still. January 22, 2013. It was 9:30 a.m., and Lucy was still asleep. The snow had canceled her classes, and she was grateful after the day before. Her phone begins to ring. Why? I was trying to sleep, she says before she picks up the phone. Hello, she says, still groggy. Hey, again, because apparently this author believes Swedish has a hard J. Lucy, I wanted to call you about the article in the Swedish tabloids, Madeline says on the other end of the line. Lucy sits straight up in the bed and says, wait, what are you talking about? Is Rocky in chat? No, Rocky is not in chat. That makes me sad. Are any of my Swedish friends in chat? Please show yourself so you can tell us how little the Swedish tabloids give a shit. You don't know? Madeline asks. No, she don't. How would she know? She lives in America. She lives in bumfuck Tennessee, East Dakota. Now what? Lucy responds. There's an article floating around about how you are well to use the direct words, the drunken American slut who weaseled her way into the heart of our Swedish prince. Oh my god, that's... Did fucking Melissa pay the Swedish tabloids as revenge for getting kicked off the team yesterday? Was that what happened? I bet you right now that Melissa sold that story to Swedish tabloids as revenge. Just you wait, gang. What? Question mark, exclamation point, yells Lucy. I'm sorry, Lucy. Someone has put this idea in their heads. I know it's not true. I just don't know how they got this inaccurate information, Madeline says sympathetically. It was from Melissa. Oh, I have a hunch, Lucy says bitterly. Who? Questions Madeline. Lucy says, Melissa. I told you! I fucking told you! If I had a nickel for any American slut making their way into loyalty, I'd have 2 nickels. Meghan Markle, considering her a slut, is debatable at best. Not that I give a shit about her, but still. Mary is Australian. She is not American, she is Australian. Oh no, I recognize that name. Isak told me about what she did to you, because again, the Bernadottes are in everyone's fucking business, therefore they should all die. Hey, Alf! Welcome! So, turns out that bitch Melissa, who was kicked off the, dance team, or whatever, last time, has sold a story to the Swedish tabloids because she is just that pathetic, and she has nothing better to do with her sad, sad life and has to do everything out of malice because this story needs an antagonist. Kahoot. But how would she access the Swedish press, though? The press was here at my apartment yesterday and followed me to campus. They were kicked off campus by the police, but they didn't look happy when they left. So you think, ... Yes, Melissa must have somehow caught them and told them this lie? How? Okay, I have questions. First of all, how did Melissa know that these paparazzi or whatever were specifically from the Swedish tabloids? Number two, how does Melissa know that Lucy is dating Isak, especially when that's a thing no one in America would really give a shit about? Number three, is Melissa's role just to be the antagonist? Because that makes her a very one-dimensional character, and therefore I don't give two shits about anyone's situation here. I don't even know this girl, and I can't stand her. Try actually knowing her. Madeline suppresses a laugh. Good point. Wait a second. Okay. What can be done about this, Madeline? It's hard to change their minds after they hear something like this. They are still harping on Sofia. Granted, ... the things on her were mostly true. They have photographic evidence there. Yeah, they have proof that Sofia did porn while underage. Also, the tabloids, from what I understand, are ridiculously nice to Sofia and harass the shit out of Madeline. As far as I know. The East Dakota Swedish community. I do not know which state has a lot of Swedish Americans in it, so I can't say for sure. So nothing can be done? I didn't say nothing couldn't be done. I just said it would be hard. Oh, ... So what are we going to do? Just leave it to me. I have to go, but I'll check back in later. Lucy hangs up the phone and falls face first into her pillow and begins to sob. Just a couple hours later. Isak wakes Lucy up after her roommates let him into their apartment. Lucy, wake up! Lucy rolls over and looks at Isak, her eyes red from crying for a couple hours. She's not dehydrated from that? Your roommates are taking you shopping. You have to get a dress, Isak tells her. What for? She asks. You are going to join Madeline and myself at the World Childhood Foundation fundraiser dinner in New York this weekend. We are going to show United Front. We are going to show that the words printed in the magazine don't hurt you, because we know that's exactly what Melissa wants, he tells her. Because again, Melissa is an irredeemable bitch, and that's the closest thing this author can write to a well-rounded antagonist. Do you think this will do any good? It better. We are just going to prove that you aren't what Melissa portrayed you as. We will win this battle. You can't see it, but I'm just blinking in disbelief. January 26, 2013, New York City. Madeline, Isak, and Lucy are riding in their limo toward the New York Metropolitan Museum of Art, not sponsored. Madeline had helped her with her hair and makeup for the event because everyone goes heads over heels to make sure Lucy is this completely redeemable ooh-woo utopian angel. Because that's how protagonists work, right? Right? I seriously don't know what I would do without you, Madeline. I couldn't have gotten ready for something like this without your help, Lucy says to Madeline. I'm always happy to help. Just remember, smile to the cameras and say thank you when you begin to walk away. It will all be fine. Plus, a story may come out tomorrow that shows you studying with that summer law program at Columbia, with interviews from your sorority sisters saying they never saw you drink or party, Madeline says with a wink. Hey, prettiest pony. Welcome. Welcome to Sweden. The borders are still closed, so this is the best you can get. They arrive at the Museum of Art, not sponsored. Madeline gets out of the car, followed by Isak, then Lucy. Lucy smiles to the awaiting media, while Isak rests his hand on her back. Okay. The trio are gracious to the media, waiting out in the cold. Lucy was smart in choosing a long-sleeve daisy dress with lace detailing and paired with a navy winter dress coat. Madeline was in a deep green coat over a forest green gown. Lucy waves to the media and says thank you as she walks into the museum confidently with Isak by her side. Yes, I agree, Praise Pony. Thonk, I'm thunking. The next morning in Madeline's apartment, she awakens to hear Madeline and Isak on the phone to someone. Not wanting to interrupt, she doesn't leave her room. You know you cannot do these types of things. It's not in the protocol. No other boyfriend of yours or Victoria's was given this preferential treatment. Sophia is still attacked in the media for her actions years ago, yet was given this preferential treatment. She was allowed to attend the Nobels in 2014 and National Day in 2015 before her official wedding because she was Carl Phil's fiance and she can do what she wants. Oh, and she also attended her sister-in-law's wedding as a commoner, but she was allowed to do it regardless. But you don't see Carl Philip pulling a stunt like this. He has pulled that stunt many times already. Carl Gustav tells his youngest two children, irritated, do not do something like this again. It doesn't look good for us to do these things. Then why did you let her go to the christening? This makes no sense, Gustav! You absolute bonking idiot! Bonking idiot. Never mind. With that, the king hangs up the phone. Madeline and Isak just look at one another. Here we go again. He's not happy that I'm dating someone who isn't Swedish. He's okay with Chris, clearly. I mean, he gave permission for you all to marry, but I have to be like Carl Philip and date a Swedish girl. He thinks Lucy's American-centered goals will interfere with me doing my duties, Isak says, frustrated. I know, Isak. Papa is stubborn about things. He'll grow to accept Lucy. I know it. Mama already loves her. The rest of the family loves her. He will, too. With time, Madeline says, attempting to calm her brother. I wish he could see just how great he is. He will. Just be patient, Madeline says. We need to show Lucy the nice article that was written in the press this time. Papa doesn't have to know I set that up to help, Madeline says with a smile, because apparently she has access to the press. That's a conflict of interest, but then again, I think Sophia has that level of access too, so fuck it, do what you want. I wonder if this will make... Nope, that doesn't make it work, that just resets it. Anyway, chapter 14. January 27, 2013, New York City. Oh my goodness, they really wrote that? How did they know that stuff? Lucy asks Isak and Madeline. What they wrote, we will never know, because that would lead to character development, which is illegal. Isak and Madeline exchange glances and smiles. What did you two do? Lucy asks. Oh, nothing, Madeline says. I don't believe that at all, Lucy says, looking back and forth between Madeline and Isak. Well, someone somewhere may have contacted some sorority sisters and people you've been around to tell the media the truth. I don't have the slightest idea who that was, though, Madeline says with a straight face. Lucy just gives up and gives her a hug. Tack, Madeline! Anytime. You make my little brother happy, so I like you. You're a great girl. I only tell the truth, and I want the media and Swedish people to know the truth. Like how Sophia is an asshole. Okay, I know it sounds unfair for me to drag Sophia on the dirt so much, but I really just don't get good vibes from her. I'm sorry. Madeline says sweetly. You're the best, Lucy says. Isak clears his throat. What? I get no love? You become friends with my sister, and I'm thrown out like yesterday's trash, Isak says with a very straight face. Madeline and Lucy turn to look at him. Soon as they looked him in the eye, he could no longer keep frowning. The horrority! He burst into a fit of laughter, and naturally, Madeline and Lucy threw pillows at him. I'm sorry, is this the opening to a porno? I mean, we've already gotten the incestuous, like, subtext in the earlier chapters, but Jesus Christ. Come on, Lucy. Let's leave the laughing hyena and go shopping. I went to look at some things for the wedding, Madeline says. Oh yeah, Madeline is marrying Chris at some point. February 23, 2013. Oh boy, it's cake smashing time. I actually don't have any cake in this apartment right now. I don't care. Estelle smashes her fingers into her cake and begins to throw it all on the floor and on her uncle cat poo. It's not a porno. Then what is it, Prettiest Pony? It's erotica! Okay, fair. Oh yeah, apparently cake smashing is a thing in America. I have never heard of this before. The whole family was laughing and taking photographs of the 1-year-old. I think she loves this, Lucy. Thanks for the suggestion, Victoria says. Oh, Chris and I have already discussed having a smash cake for our kids too. It's adorable to watch them dig in, Madeline tells her sister, Victoria, and Lucy. I'm glad you all like the idea. It's the highlight of any 1-year-old birthday party in the States. No, it's not. I have never seen that before. Ever. Maybe it's just because I have a very foggy memory of my early childhood, but still. It's a regional tradition from East Dakota! We need to make t-shirts that say, like, welcome to East Dakota or some shit. I love seeing them get so messy, Lucy says with a smile. Cat Poo walks over and puts icing on Isak's face, who in return puts icing on Lucy's face. Hey, what was that for? Lucy asks. Cat Poo is laughing and says, well, it was your idea, and I suffered some consequences with the icing. Thought I'd share the love with Isak. But why did I get hit with it? Because I knew Isak would put it on you after I hit him, Cat Poo says slyly. Is he trying to flirt with her? What? What is this? Oh, that was sneaky. Kip! I approve, Isak says, and then winks at Lucy. I will get you both back for this. I don't know how or when, but I will, Lucy tells them. End scene. March 19, 2013. Disney World, Florida! Isn't there a song that's like people throwing cake at each other on the beach? Not that I can recall. I really can't recall a song like that. Anyway. I will not get on that ride, Will, Lucy tells her brother. Will. Oh, yes, you will, if I have to carry you on it, Will tells his little sister, Lucy. We need to go back to Florida so we can remember the incest subtext. Remember that incest is relative. You know my fear of those creatures. This is spring break, all caps. I want to have fun, not to be scared, so scared I pee on myself, Lucy tells her brother sternly, but this comment only antagonizes him. Now I really want you on this ride. I want you to pee yourself and walk around Disney World like a 3-year-old, Will says smirking, because that's my fetish! I hate you. I love you too, my lover, Will says as he drags his sister on the ride she fears most. A few moments later, what's the ride? For the love of God, get me out of here! Forget that damn dinosaur and get back to 2013, Lucy screams as she's on the ride. Dinosaur? She's scared of the dinosaur ride? You fucking wimp! Will is right to pick on you for that! This puts Will into a fit of laughter alongside their father, Thomas. Remember that. When the T-Rex pops out of nowhere, Lucy lets out a shriek. You mean a shriek? that could cause ears to bleed. When they walk off the ride, we would have shared the rest of the ride, but that would have led to character development, which is illegal, yada yada yada. Lucy punches her brother, Will, square in the stomach. I hate you so much right now, but I didn't pee myself, so ha, Lucy says. I can't hear anything you were saying after some whisk-wielded sound that was like nails on a chalkboard. I'm deaf, thanks to you, Will, her brother, says. Lucy rolls her eyes and walks ahead of her father, Thomas, and brother, Will, alongside of her mother. I think her name's Anne. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Let's go to Magic Kingdom. But I do have to admit, you were funny to watch on that ride. Anne, her mother, tells her daughter, Lucy. I really hate how this author just has to remind you of the names of the parents, as if I give a shit. Yes, you're all right, Alf. The fanfic vibes are really hitting hard here. Yeah, let's get something to drink first before we go to the bus, Lucy suggests. They each get a lemonade, and her mother takes a couple sticks and gets choked. Thomas, her father, ran over and had to do the Heimlich for her to catch her breath back. Are you okay, Mama? Lucy asks her mother. Yes, dear, I'm fine. Somehow the lemonade just got down the wrong way, and I couldn't catch air back. Let's go to the Magic Kingdom, and her mother tells her daughter Lucy. Well, that was pointless. They ride the bus over to the Magic Kingdom. Will and Lucy race like children to the Space Mountain while their parents walk behind them and laugh. None of the four sees the camera flash. Paparazzi. Okay. Quick side note. For public individuals at Disney, they have like a thing where they allow you to go through the utilidors so you wouldn't be seen just walking around in public. Also, does Disney even allow paparazzi in the parks? Let's find out! You're right, Super Dark, that is not what a Heimlich maneuver is used for. Alright, let me be more specific. Are paparazzi allowed in Disney World? Yes, this was exactly what I was looking for, Ekoja. Thank you very much. Alright, it doesn't say anything about the paparazzi not being allowed, but you do have to pay a lot to get in there, so why would you do that? Unless if you had like a annual pass. How much are the Disney World annual passes? We're going into some very deep lore here. Enjoy a year of magic! Okay, it's $1,000 a year, so they could just like go every day and take photos. Okay, that's my theory. Anyway, oh boy, Google Translate. Prins Isaks flickvän loper värdelös runt Disney. Han har egen för barnen, Lucy Kingston. Det handlar flickvän Isaks sons var i Disney World korven med sin bror. Professional fotbollsspelare för, I'm not saying that, genom Disney. Ingen var det vården att barn kanske vidare att de kommer runt på exakt sätt. Kungen kommer inte att vara med någon detta. Lucy stares at the Swedish tabloid page. She copies and pastes into Google Translate. Prince Isaac's girlfriend runs some recklessly runs around Disney. Has she no concern for the children? This is why you go into the utilidors, you idiot. For fuck's sake. Also, wait. If her brother was already a member of the Washington football team by then, wouldn't they have been allowed to use the utilidors by default because he also became a public figure? There's more holes in this plot than a Swiss cheese. Yeah, it does check out for tabloids, Super Dark. That's not the problem here. The problem here is that Lucy and Will did not, take precautions to ensure this would not happen. That's the problem here. Lucy Kingston, the no-girlfriend of Isak, they would probably call him Prince Isak, was seen at Disney World running with her brother, professional football player for, I'm not saying the Washington team name, through Disney. No care in the world that children might want to ride the rides and get around safely. The king will not be happy with this. Holy crap, Will! When did they get that photo of us running to Space Mountain? I don't think they hear about these things in East Dakota. I mean, at the very least, they're idiots. Holy crap, Will, when they get... We never cut in front of any children. We both let some kids go ahead of us in line. Racing to the ride is just our tradition. Ugh, why do they hate me so much? They think I'm some horrible person, Lucy says as she begins to sob. Lucy, darling. Lucy, my darling. Lucille Ann Kingston, my babe, my darling. Not everyone is going to like you. You are going to get negative publicity regardless of what you do. The best thing you can do is keep your chin up and ignore it. Deal with it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It's going to happen regardless of what you do. Don't wrap your head around it. Okay? Okay. My life is so hard. You're right, Alf. That's the vibe we're getting here. Will hugs his little sister, his lover, Lucy. I'm so sorry, sis. I don't know how they found us. The picture's a good quality. Maybe someone from Sweden recognized you and took the photo. But this isn't right. They don't know the true you. Once they do, they'll love you. You cannot let them know this bothers you. You hear me? Keep a stiff upper lip and prove them wrong. Keep a stiff upper lip. I don't bother about trying to prove them wrong or not. That just makes them think that you're reading them, okay? Lucy, still sobbing, hugs her brother tighter. Isak had sent her the link in an email. Babe, here's a link I think you need to see. I don't know how they got the photo, but they took it and ran with it. They will grow to love you, I promise. I hope your trip is going well, otherwise I love you, Isak. Come on, sis. Let's go get some ice cream, Will says. But it's 8 a.m., Lucy tells her brother. Exactly. Perfect time for ice cream, so come on! Then we can head on to Epcot and meet up with Mom and Dad later. Okay, I'm in. Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I absolutely hate people who go to Disney every year and have, their own little Disney traditions. They give me very terrible vibes, and chances are they are very repressed individuals. Okay? Okay, moving on. A few hours later, I just love Epcot. I love getting to go around the World Showcase and get a taste of their cultures. Lucy... The author, through Lucy, says, with way too much enthusiasm for her brother Will, footballer for the Washington football team, whose name I will not be repeating because fuck that racist bullshit. You're right, Superdark. Disney families are weird. Yeah, I know, nerd, Will says to his sister, while his sister and lover, Lucy, while shaking his head. They move forward in the line and get on the boat for the Maelstrom ride, in the Norwegian pavilion. They came off of the ride laughing into the gift shop. So tell me, Lucy, I know most of the Scandinavian countries are really similar. Okay, the other day, I saw my Swedish friends complaining about Denmark due to the mink incident. They're not that common in culture as you think, dumbass. Does this pavilion remind you of Sweden any? Yeah, it does some, but there are obviously some differences since they are two different countries, but there are some similarities too. It seems like a cool country. I want to visit at some point. I wonder why Sweden doesn't have a pavilion, Will asks. Lucy, through Wikipedia, says there was supposed to be a Scandinavian pavilion at one point, but only Norway came through with money. I'm going to talk to Isak. Sweden needs a pavilion? No. No, they don't. They really don't. There's plenty of room with it. It would be great for their tourism, too. You know what's also great for your tourism? Abolishing the monarchy. Sweden is right now incredibly busy turning their minks into nuclear fuel. I mean, the Danish only have their minks to provide Mary with that precious fur. I'd think so that people would get a taste of what Sweden is all about, Lucy says. I'm blinking in disbelief. March 23rd, 2013, Aerosmith ride! Okay, you've been using proper nouns already, author. Can't you just say the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster sponsored by Aerosmith? Or who is the sponsor for the Aerosmith roller coaster? I'm curious now. Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. Sponsored by... It does not have a sponsor. I thought it had a sponsor. I mean, I guess Aerosmith counts as the sponsor. TBH. Yeah. Will and Lucy are on the ride, waiting to take off on Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster sponsored by Aerosmith. 3, 2, 1, and the ride takes off. Lucy laughs throughout the entire ride. She gets off the roller coaster and heads to the photos to see what face she was making as the ride began. Will is already standing there, frozen and glaring at the screen. What? Will, what is it? Lucy asks as she looks to the screen. Oh my gosh! Lucy says, shocked at what she sees. Did you like my little photo I sent to that Swedish tabloid? What? What? What the fuck? What? Melissa has been stalking them this whole time? Why? Why? Like, I know she's supposed to be painted as this pathetic person, but this is such a bizarre plot twist. Like, how did Melissa know that, Will and Lucy were going to be going to Disney World over spring break? Why? How did Melissa get connections with the Swedish tabloids? Why is Melissa just spawning out of nowhere at random times just to fuck with Lucy? Why is she even a character here? This is like pathetic on the writer's side for thinking this is how an antagonist rival would work. I really wish y'all did more clips, because I really want there to be clips of just me snapping. I should have known! What are you even doing here? Did you follow us? Lucy says, angry. I have so many more questions than those. No, I got lucky and ended up on vacation at the same place for spring break. I saw you enter the park that night. I remembered how you talked about you and your brother always racing to Space Mountain, so I took advantage of the opportunity, she says smugly. What? What the legit fuck? What the fuck, author? We should author a name we can address her by. Alright, I'm gonna refill my water. While I'm gone, think of a name I can address the author by. That is not her real name, which I will be keeping a secret, because that's my policy. Okay, I'm back. How should we address the author? What name should we use for the author? Anything that does not have 3 Ks in it? Anyone? Anyone? Jacqueline? I'm not really feeling that one, to be honest. How about, it's a very white name. Crystal. Let's call her Crystal. Crystal. The name of the author, canonically, for the sake of this stream, will be Crystal. Crystal Smith. Yeah, Crystal Smith. And yes, it does sound kind of like crystal meth. That's what makes it better. Yes. Her name will be Crystal Smith. Anyway, continuing with, yes, Crystal with a K. Yes. That's what it will be. No, it will not have 3 Ks. No, I refuse. Anyway, Chapter 15, March 23rd, 2013, Aerosmith Ride, sponsored by Aerosmith, Hollywood Studios, Disney. I don't get it, Melissa. Why do you want to do this to me? You're supposed to be my friend. I would never do this to you, Lucy says to her ex-teammate, Melissa. It's called karma, Melissa replies. Okay. Crystal, honey. You clearly do not understand how to write an antagonist. Because right now, Melissa is just characterized as this talentless, vindictive bitch. And therefore, I just want to murder the shit out of her. That's not how you should write a villain. A well-rounded villain, that is. Okay? Okay. Super dark? No, I'm not going to give Crystal a name with 3 Ks. I'm not doing that. Just 1 K. Karma? Seriously? For what? What on earth deserves this type of karma? Lucy says, starting to get really irritated. You got me kicked off the team. Well, Yor thinks he's better than anyone else. Brother, boyfriend. You think he's better than everyone else, brother? Thank you, Alf. Bye. Dude, with government money. I mean, Melissa has a point here. I really don't like the idea that Isak used the government money to basically do his simp bidding. That feels very problematic on several levels, but whatever. Speaking of, I bet the president would love to hear about this, Melissa says with the arrogance of Draco Malfoy. Oh god. Can't be a white girl fanfiction without a Harry Potter reference. Oh my god. But yeah, Melissa has a point here. I know she's supposed to sound like an evil bitch for that, but she actually has a point. Like, why did they use public money to do this? Like, hang on. They could have used Sofia's reality TV money for this. Just saying. But then again, that might be money laundering. Okay, I might need to think of this evil plan through, but for now, let's just continue. Okay, 1, you got yourself kicked off the team for constantly screwing up and then lying on me to the coach. First of all, lying about me. Second of all, technically, Melissa was kicked off the team thanks to the taxpayer money Isak's father used. Number 2, Isak does not think he's better than everyone else. He only wants to do what is morally right. I mean, Isak being morally right led him to basically lie to Lucy at first. And 3, the president of the United States won't give a rat's ass about any money from Isak's family. He would give a shit about money laundering. Actually, okay, there are a lot of questions here. None of them are probably going to be answered, so I'm just not going to bother. You know why, Lucy says, with words so stern it made her brother back away? Why? The king has to answer to Obama! The king has to answer to Obama? We're gonna put that on a t-shirt. I'm gonna copy this to a note. Mr. Obama, the Swedish Princess deigned to come from East Dakota. I'm gonna save this. Copy to note. Bless your heart. Okay. Bless your heart is a southern way of saying fuck you. It's more prevalent in the deep, deep south, like Louisiana and Alabama. But since I've grown up in Texas, I don't really use it that much. Anyway, bless your heart is the southern equivalent to fuck you. You really are that stupid, aren't you? Isak is Swedish. His father is the King of Sweden! Sweden is an independent country with its own damn government! The USA doesn't care whatsoever if the king of a country who is in LA, Diane, give money for a freaking scholarship! It's not even government money! It's from the royal family's personal funds! Lucy says calmly before raising her voice in anger. I need a painting of all the monarchs of the world bowing to Obama. Someone make fan art of that, please. But also, again, isn't the royal family's personal funds a result of taxpayer money? I'm not 100% sure on how it works, but if it is, if their personal funds are funded by taxpayer money, then it is by technicality government money. And furthermore, why would anyone allow the head of state of a foreign country offer a scholarship to, might I say, a university in bumfuck Tennessee, East Dakota? I'm going to tell Daddy he will get this scholarship pulled. It's illegal. The USA doesn't have a king, Melissa says. Again, like, I know Melissa is supposed to be seen as an arrogant bitch, but she really does have a point here. Oh, for the love of God, Melissa, did a baton give you a concussion? Or are you really just that dense? Go run off to Daddy. Great idea. Please video it when he tries to talk to Obama about this. I want to see the confusion, then laughter on Obama's face. Will says, stepping up beside his sister once again. Melissa rolls her eyes, though. Why would you want to see that, though? You're a Republican? I'm wheezing! I'm wheezing! This is so bad! Will and Lucy just stand there, staring at her in confusion, then look at one another. Therefore, Lucy turns back to Melissa. What on earth does the fact that we are Republicans have to do with the price of apples in Alaska? Like, you make no sense. Are you drunk? Crystal, are you projecting yourself into this character? Have people criticized you for being a Republican before and you're just letting it all out in your fan fiction? I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. And I I'm not I'm not a Republican. I'm not even a Democrat. I am a leftist independent. I don't know where I was going with this, but the end result is fuck you. You really don't have an argument here. Melissa then storms off. Lucy turns to her brother. Did that really just happen? I should have known she would be behind the picture of the Swedish tabloid. I knew she could be dense, but jeez. I really think she was drunk, though. No one is that dumb on their own, Will responds. Again. Melissa has a point here. Melissa has a point here. Why am I not surprised that this writer is a Republican? I said this last stream as well, and probably the stream before that I did figure out that the author is a Republican, or at least has some pretty conservative views, which is kind of problematic, but explains why she's a royalist. We're fucked. Oh, look at that. She's the drunk American she claims I am. Well, I mean, you did say she was so drunk she couldn't stand up one night when she was going back to her dorm during your freshman year. She's jealous of you. That's it. Plain and simple. She will get bored with this. Let's just go have fun for the rest of the break, Will says as he and his sister walk out to meet their parents at the Tower of Terror. Okay. Because Crystal is projecting herself into this fanfiction, I'm going to project a bit of myself into this reading. Back when I did the predecessor to this series, reading a shitty fanfiction, people who were, like, detracted by it, mostly the authors and their friends, were like, oh, she's just jealous that you wrote a successful fanfiction. She'll get bored of it just to respond to it. But, like, no, I'm not jealous. I just think it's funny to read terrible fanfiction. Like, I've written my own work before, and I've gotten views on my own work. Okay? I'm not even a novelist. I don't even bother with fiction that much anymore. For the love of God. March 27, 2013, Tennessee. Isak and Lucy had just finished dinner at her apartment. Isak is still shaking his head at what occurred at Disney World 4 days earlier. There are no words for that. I literally have no words for that stupidity. Wait until I tell Mad, Vic, and Catpoo. They aren't going to be able to stop laughing, Isak says. Yeah, about... Okay. The Republican Party in the United States is the equivalent to some very right-wing and far-right parties in Europe, so... The fact that Isak, the prince of a notoriously liberal, not socialist, liberal country, is dating this far righter is kind of funny, in my opinion, in my honest opinion. Anyway, moving on. Well, if you or me or anyone else we know feels bad for themselves for a blonde moment, oh, fuck you! We can comfort them with this story, Lucy says with a chuckle. Okay, so true. So, are you coming to Mad's wedding, right? Never mind. I know that answer. Okay, so remember, you will come with Sophia, Isak responds, because Sophia can do what she wants. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And yes, I know I'll be with Sophia. We've actually been discussing our dresses. Victoria has been helping me too, because again, everyone bends over backwards for this asshole. I've never been to a royal wedding. I'm just really glad no tiara is involved for me. I don't think it would look good or even be comfortable. Well, you might be wearing a tiara in the future, Isak says with a wink. Lucy blushes before Isak leans in to give her a sweet kiss. Sometimes I wonder if the author has found my reading of her fan fiction. As of now, I doubt it. But Jesus Christ, this is terrible. And this chapter just leads me to more questions than answers. I'm gonna say that now. June 7, 2013, Stockholm, the day of Madeline's wedding, where I'm sorry Lucy, but here, Madeline had premarital sex. Allegedly. Allegedly, her first child was conceived before the wedding. Like, shortly before the wedding. Not gonna confirm it, just gonna allege it. Thank you so much, Victoria, for helping me with this crazy hair of mine. Yours always looks so good up, Lucy tells Victoria. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You are welcome. You are going to look fabulous at the pre-wedding dinner. Your Alexander McQueen dress is beautiful. Ka-chow! I'm glad you finally let Isak pay for you a dress. You need to look like the future princess that you are, Lucy says with a smile as she walks out of the room. Lucy finishes getting ready and puts on her J. Green halter neck silk chiffon Alexander McQueen gown. Watch it like 404 because this is an old piece. Out of stock. So sorry, this product is currently unavailable. Okay, can I see a photo of it? No? Okay. Sophia comes to the room in her yellow V-neck gown. You look gorgeous, Lucy, Sophia says as she gives her a hug. Sophia, who also had premarital sex, gives her a hug. Aw, thank you, Sophia. You look so beautiful, too. Are you ready for this? Just remember to smile to the cameras as we walk to the ship. Then once we are on board, the media is it, Sophia says with a warm smile. Thank you, Sophia. Let's head on out. An hour later. Oh boy, it's wedding time. You know what that means. I think it's this one. Yeah, it was that one. Sophia and Lucy step out of their car and head to the ship, where the king and queen are hosting the pre-wedding dinner. They both smile warmly to the cameras and share a few jokes as they head to the ship to wait on Isak and Katpoo to arrive. A few minutes after they step on the ship, Lucy hears someone say her name in an Australian accent. She turns to see Crown Princess Mary. She's back. Because, fuck you. With her arms out, walking toward her with her arms outstretched, ready to give a hug. After the greeting hug, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department, Lucy did a short curtsy to the Crown Princess. You really didn't have to do that, dear. The media can't see, so we really don't have to go with too many formalities. How are you doing? Mary says, with her nose still up in the air. And Frederick somewhere drinking. I'm okay. This is a lot to take in. I never thought I'd be at a royal wedding, Lucy says. Well, I'd say you need to get used to it. This is just the beginning of royal weddings you will be attending or part of. Mary says, faking sweetness because she is arrogant and thinks that perfect uwu Lucille is just too pretty. Don't be nervous. I know that look. I was there too. We all were. You have a great support system of strong women from all over. Thank you, but I'm not even royal though. Well, you aren't yet, but I'm not usually wrong on these things. Mary, shut the fuck up! I'm telling you that in a few years, you'll be a Swedish princess, Mary says sincerely, faking sincereness. Speaking of your prince, he just arrived. Go to him, dear. You look so beautiful that I really think he's frozen over there. And I need to get back to my drunken husband to slap him silly for flirting with a blonde. Lucy turns to Isak, who's just standing there with his brother. Carl Philip is looking lovingly at Sofia, who is headed to greet him. Who had premarital sex? Isak whispers to his brother. How did we get so lucky, bro? God blessed us big time. They are both out of our league. Sofia is not out of your league. She is out of your league. Fuck you! Lucy looks stunning. Go to her. You are frozen in place. Little brother, someone finally made you speechless. Lucy walks up right after Sofia. Isak smiles at Lucy and says, babe, you look absolutely beautiful, as he pulls her in for a loving hug. He then whispers, you are the prettiest one here. Don't tell your sister. His sister said that right before her wedding. I want to live to see tomorrow. He then kisses her on the forehead. We're done! I'm going to yeet my laptop out of the window now. Good night!